Hello and welcome back to Nathan Bell's podcast. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Today, Nate would like to talk about the right to disconnect.
Right, today I'm going to talk about the Labor government's new right to disconnect laws. I want to say I think this is a good policy. I used to be involved with the unions, and I'm all about workers' rights. And my general view is that people work to pay for their lives. They're not slaves to their employers. Employers don't own their employees. People have to have private lives. They have to have their own personal time. The reason we work is to make money to pay for our lives so that we can live rewarding and satisfying lives. So people aren't slaves to their employers, and people have to have their own private time, and they have to be able to go home and do their own thing. And really, people should only be working when they're being paid to work. They've said, I think they said in the media that I was reading that the Australian government calculated that the average Australian is doing 5.5 hours a week or something of unpaid overtime in answering calls from their employers and following up tasks that their employers have requested outside of work time. So really, if people are going to work, they should be paid for all the hours that they're working, because people's lives are, we only live a certain amount of time on this earth. We live 80 to 100 years, and we work so that we can survive. Work is about getting paid so that you can survive, and so that you can live a meaningful and rewarding life. So your whole life is, you don't exist purely to serve the economy. You don't exist purely to serve your employer and to serve business. You exist, and the value of your life is for your own personal satisfaction, so that you as an individual can live a rewarding and satisfying life before you die. So you have to have your own private time. You don't live in servitude. You're not a slave to your employers. That being said, employers also have to value the success of the businesses that they work for, because if the business doesn't succeed, they'll lose their jobs. So we want to keep the businesses going strong so that people have jobs. Sometimes it's just unfortunate. An employer may have a reason why they really urgently need to call their staff outside of work hours when they're not being paid, and it could be damaging to the business if they're unable to reach their staff. It just really depends on how invested you are in the business you work for. Me personally, I work for reliability, and I'm very invested in the success of reliability. I want reliability to blossom as a business, and if reliability grows and reliability does well, then my room for employment and my opportunities for employment increases. And because I'm really, I'm a big part of the team here, and I like being a part of the team at Reliability, and I've got a good relationship with my employer, Michael. Every now and again, Michael will call me and say, can you flick off an email or whatever outside of work hours? And I don't mind. It doesn't bother me too much, but I'm very personally invested in the success of the business, because my goals of achieving success as a professional creator and media producer are linked to the success of this business. So if Michael calls me and says, can you flick off that email, or can you send me that file? It only takes 5 minutes. I don't mind doing it. But Michael doesn't ask us to do much outside of our work hours, because Michael believes that people should be paid for the work they're doing. But every now and again, something comes up and Michael has to ring me and say, can you flick me that file, or can you send that email? And I don't mind doing that. That's okay, because I'm invested in the success of the business. I want the business to go far so that I can succeed and continue getting increased work for the business. So, it's up to the individual how much extra work they're willing to do and whether they're comfortable doing extra work. Some people are of the view they won't work at all unless they're being paid, and that really should be the standard. People don't have to work for free. Like I said, people aren't slaves to the business they work for. We're not commodities, and I've said this in videos before. Capitalism measures people based on their productivity. So in capitalism, we say that an individual's value in our society is measured by their productivity and their economic participation. Now, I don't agree with that. I believe in valuing human life in a much more deep philosophical, suppose, spiritual way, where individuals' lives are valuable because they're alive and this is their life experience and their one chance to exist in this universe. So while we exist in this universe, we should live rewarding, satisfying lives that are satisfying to us. We're not slaves to our employees. We're not slaves to the economy. We don't live to serve others. We live to serve ourselves and our own satisfaction in life. So people can't be expected to work for free. That's like slavery, you know. But you know, like I said, as well as that, if you want to have a job, the business has to be doing well, and we have to have a strong economy so that there is business, and business has to be strong and successful so that people have jobs. So it's a delicate balance between working to support the success of the business that you work for, and also having your own personally satisfying and rewarding private life where you're not living your whole life just working for someone else and to make someone else profits and to make someone else rich. But I do support generally, even though I'm happy to do additional work for Michael and Reliability because I'm invested in the success of the company, and Michael would never ask me to do much extra other than send an email every now and again. You know, I won't work for free. You know, you want me to work for you. I'm not your slave. I'm not a commodity. I'm not your servant. You know, you've got to pay me to work for you, or I'm not going to work for you. My life I don't exist to make you money and to make you rich. I don't exist to make your business profitable. I exist for my own life before I die. When I die in this finite universe, I exist so that I live a rewarding and satisfying life. So I'm not going to work for free. So I'm a big supporter of these laws that the Labor government is bringing in, the right to disconnect. This is a really good humanitarian policy that Labor is bringing in to make sure that people aren't abused by their employers, because, you know, employers do abuse people, and employers do take advantage of people, and some people like to pretend that employers are all nice and friendly. No, many employers will take advantage of their staff. You know, we see all over the world people get paid unreasonable wages. It's human nature. People take advantage of each other and use each other. And people shouldn't be used as commodities. People are not commodities. Life has value. Human life has value. So I support these laws because really people should get paid for all the work they do, and they shouldn't be doing work for free, because people's lives, as I said, are about their own lives and their own private time, and people work to pay for their own life satisfaction so that they can live rewarding and satisfying lives. They don't work to make someone else rich. People are working for themselves because earning money is a necessity in the fight for survival in this world. You need to earn money so that you can buy the goods you need to survive, food, and pay your water and electricity bill and pay for your housing. And that's why people work, you know. But like I said, some people are very invested in the success of the companies they work for, and they might want to do a little additional work. I don't own Reliability, and I'm not going to, you know, if Reliability makes millions of dollars, I'm not going to make millions of dollars. But it will benefit me if Reliability does well, because I'll get increased hours, and also because we're all aspiring artists and creators, and that's what I want to do as a profession. So if we can establish this company so that it's a creative force, and we start making indie films and producing hit singles and music and blah, 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 you know, that only benefits me, because that's what I want to do with my life. So I want this company to do well. So I will do a little bits of additional work, but it should be my decision, and I should have the right to say, no, I won't work for free. And this is my time. I'm at home and I'm not going to take this call. You know, so as I said, I'm happy to do a little additional work for this car. But it's like when I was a car detailer, like I'm very invested in the success of Reliability because we pursue my passions in the arts and creativity. But when I was a car detailer, if the boss told me to stay back 2 hours late and wash 10 more cars because they hadn't got done. No, absolutely not. For free. I'd say, no, you're going to pay me, I'm not going to do that for free because I wasn't invested in the success of the car yard. It didn't benefit me. It didn't improve my quality of life, and I didn't care about the car yard. I was happy to work there. It was a decent job, but I was there to make money, to pay for food and rent and to live. I wasn't there because I wanted to see the owner of the car yard make millions of dollars. It doesn't benefit me if the owner of the car yard makes millions of dollars. But in this company where we're pursuing my passions, and if reliability does well, we can make movies and we can have hit singles and stuff. Well, it does benefit me. So I'm invested in the success of this company. Now, you might say that's a bit selfish. Well, people are allowed to be selfish, We're all going to die. And that's what it comes down to, really. We live a finite life. We live 80, 90 years at the most, and then we die. So our lives have to be about our own personal satisfaction, and we have to live rewarding and satisfying lives that benefit us because we're mortal. I'm not going to live my life in servitude as a slave to somebody else. My life is precious. My life has value, and I want my life to be rewarding for me, so I don't serve you, and I'm not here to make you a millionaire. So that's what I think about Australia's new right to disconnect laws. I definitely support them. I think it's good policy from the Albanese government. Drop a comment in the comment section what you think about the right to disconnect laws.